Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. We're going to answer some tough questions today, like, is it right or do you have the right to face your accuser? Now, last time that I checked in America, that was a right. You can't have an anonymous accuser coming at you sideways. You have no way of knowing how to defend yourself. That is a foundation of our legal system, isn't it? But then, over the years, like everything else, the people in control started to encroach on our rights to face our accuser. One such example would be the red flag laws that Trump endorsed, in which he said anybody can anonymously fill out a one-page form, send it in to the local authorities to basically accuse you of being some kind of threat to yourself or others. That's reviewed by a judge, and then armed men knock at your door in the middle of the night and take your guns from you. Those were the extreme risk protection orders. We also live in an era now where other rights are being eroded as we speak. It used to be your right to have your face be anonymous. It used to be your right that nobody had a detailed print of your face. Now, of course, there were things that you could do to lose that right, like become a felon, in which your mugshot's taken, and then they can run your face through a database to see if other crimes are committed. But it used to be that law-abiding citizens didn't have to have their face posted anywhere. So these are just some examples of how our rights to privacy have degraded over the last several decades through several different presidencies. But let's get back to this whole issue about being able to face your accuser. Now, here's the latest we're going to talk about today. Law enforcement is now masking up. They are masking up, which, of course, de-identifies themselves, which makes them perfectly poised to do whatever they want with immunity. We already know that Trump has passed executive orders to protect cops by offering them legal help, federal legal aid. And so this is setting up a perfect storm. Now, so far, we haven't seen much of these abuses publicized yet. They might be going on, but we haven't seen it yet because they have to slowly, gradually creep into this, don't they? Before the real hammer comes down. So we'll get into this story today. We're also going to get into Trump's 9/11 phones. Yes, Trump has 9/11 phones now, and I'll explain all that. There's also new VA rules that has everybody concerned. And essentially, they believe it targets Democrats and unmarried people and all kinds of other crazy stuff, you guys. There's also a farmer who is suing Trump for a DEI program that punishes white farmers. We're going to break that down and talk about why that particular rule just so happened to be left on the table when everything else was rooted out through Doge. So let's get started. Good morning, everybody. All right. Just checking the chat here real quick. Yeah, you heard about the Trump phones. Yeah, we're going to break those down today. The phones for the people. All right, we're going to have a little bit of fun today because, I have to do that every once in a while. So here's the question. Should law enforcement be allowed to wear masks? Now, to me, I already know the answer. No way should they be allowed to wear masks. And there's various reasons for this. There was this whole movement afoot on YouTube called the Cop Watch movement. I got into it for a while, and then I realized that it might be a psyop to just essentially speed along the police state because they were just doing things that were like borderline. They were like pushing the boundaries, and that's not really what we needed. We needed a more measured approach to cop watching. And then it became a thing for clicks and views, who could push the cops the furthest, and it kind of worked against our rights. And in fact, the cops now have begun to implement certain things. So obviously, whatever they were doing didn't help because now we have a militarized police. They're literally, Trump passed an order to allow more and more police stations to have military surplus. So it just got worse almost. I mean, it was a good effort, but I think at a certain point, the whole movement got co opted. And then it just became about extremism and clicks and views to see how far they could push the envelope, right? Now, here's the crazy part. These masks. Knowing the identity of the police officers. One of the things that the Cop Watch movement did do was that they exercised our right to know a cop's name and badge number. That was like the first thing that they would ask, because then that could be put in a police report or something if there was a complaint that needed to be filed. And amazingly, a lot of cops would not give their name and badge number. But apparently that was like a policy of most police departments, that the cop had to identify themselves. And that was probably based off of some constitutional requirements. Now, why is this important? It's because this is about accountability, isn't it? It's about accountability in the citizen's mind, because you're talking to another human being, despite everything we've gone through from at the hands of the police. At the end of the day, it's two human beings talking to each other, right? And in the mind of the officers, accountability. It's psychological, isn't it? It's the human connection. It's why sometimes you're able to defuse a situation or de-escalate a situation, because at the end of the day, it's two human beings talking to each other. Both sides have some kind of accountability. Not only that, with all these cameras around, what if an officer had a mask and wasn't identified in any other way? Well, that would shield that officer from any kind of accountability, wouldn't it? You see, without an identity, the very fabric and foundation of our society goes out the window. Because once that connection is severed, all bets are off. Now, so far, the No Kings movement did not really end up in too much law enforcement overstepping their bounds. It was somewhat peaceful. There were some arrests. I thought there would be a lot more in the coming weeks and days as people, I know we're only on Tuesday, but I thought that they would be using this camera footage to go in and find all the people that did crimes or whatever, threw a rock or assaulted a police officer. We'll still see. It could still happen. But all it takes is one incident, you guys. All it takes is one incident. And believe me, it's coming. This whole thing is set up to create conflict between cops and people. And notice how, once again, they've essentially made this issue one of the left. The left is now on the right side of this issue. The loser left. Now, why would they do this? California proposal to make it a misdemeanor for officers to cover their faces prompts federal criticism. Well, the reason why they're making the left correct in this issue is because the left is the loser right now. And they want this issue defeated. They want to bring it out into public opinion and then defeat this. Defeat requiring officers to remove their masks so that we can see their faces. It's basically a pre-planned, controlled demolition of a very reasonable idea, because it's the left who's proposing it. I hope this is starting to make sense to people. Where was the sentiment from California when there were a bunch of BLM people running around burning down cities, right? You see the problem here? It's hypocrisy. Now they want the cops to remove their masks. So now I think this goes far deeper, this whole mask thing, because By de-identifying the police, it becomes the perfect segue into the new RoboCop era, which is coming very, very soon. We already have robo dogs. We already have autonomous drones. We have sentry drones with thermal imaging. And the last step will be the RoboCops, won't it? And they will have no identity, will they? So this is the segue, because people will already be programmed to accept that we are letting police continue to cover their faces. So this is what's going on with masks and cops. I wanted to talk about that because it's very important, and help you understand why they're doing this and where it's all headed. Now, if you haven't heard by now, Trump made some changes to the VA to get rid of a bunch of DEI language in there. Like, they're not allowed to say trans, they're not allowed, and this is all good. But along with this comes some concerns that Democrats could be targeted and not receive care based on the discretion of doctors, nurses, and people in the medical field in the Department of Veterans Affairs. Now, I think most of this is probably just gaslighting, because this wasn't the intention of removing the DEI, but it's still out there. The big question mark is out there, and I think this is how Trump operates. I've watched him long enough to see that he likes to gaslight, even though he has no intention of doing certain things. He'll say he's going to do it just to get people's goat, just to get them upset and to create more chaos. Now, this article makes it sound like they could reject you, based on your marital status, based on other things, even just being a Democrat. Now, of course, that will likely never happen, but as it sits now, this is what the language says. And so that's what's going on with that. Now, if you haven't heard by now, Trump has new cell phones, new cell phone business. And I'm calling it the 9/11 cell phone business. Why do I say that? Well, because look at this. The new cell phones cost $47.45 a month. And it basically encodes his first and second term, which everybody knows by now, adds up to 9 and 11. It's in reverse, but think of the hubris. Think of the self-absorption, which, of course, Americans have come to love about Trump, and which will be our final judgment. It's the exact opposite of the fruits of the Spirit, and people celebrate this, but yet claim to be Christians. $47.45 a month. Now, why couldn't he have allowed people to save a few dollars and made it $45 and $47 a month? The hubris of it all. Now, it isn't just this narcissistic business that a sitting president has launched into action. That's bad enough on its face. A phone service. Look at this. It even says T1 on the back of the phone. And there's more to this. It's what this phone offers that should give you pause. It's an American phone. Made in America. Even though it'll still have foreign parts in it, right? No contract, no credit check, free calls, foreign countries, a phone for the people. Wow. Now, here's the problem with this. Here's the real problem I have. Sorry for my horrible Bane interpretation there, but, we got to have a little fun, right? The T1 phone, a sleek gold smartphone engineered for performance and proudly designed and built in the United States for customers who expect the best from their mobile carrier. Now, yes, it is designed and built in America, but the parts inside of it are still not from America. So that's what we call a bait and switch. It's not an American foe. Just because you put a flag on something and Trump's name doesn't make it American. And here's the other thing. Here's another bait and switch. 24/7 roadside assistance through Drive America. So they're basically selling you some kind of car insurance, telehealth services, including virtual medical care, which everybody knows is completely useless, mental health support. There's probably some chatbot on the other end. Are you feeling like you're going to harm yourself today? We can contact local law enforcement and have someone meet you really. Easy ordering and delivery for prescription medications. Oh, yeah, that's what America needs. More drugs. This is just laughable. But people eat this up. They will go ahead and call 888 Trump 45. You can't make this up, you guys. To get their $499 phone. And wow, for the people, right? Now, this just launched June 16th, just yesterday. So let me check in with you guys and we'll get into some of these other stories today. For the people. Okay, I'll stop. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Now, apparently, Doge didn't quite finish the job, as there are some leftover DEI laws on the books that benefit non-white farmers. Welcome to the clown show, you guys. So, a Wisconsin dairy farmer decides he's going to sue Trump, claiming discrimination against white farmers. Now, of course, this is good, right? You shouldn't be getting special benefits in America because you're one color or the other. It creates a toxic environment between people. And this is all intentional, you guys. It's all intentional. So this guy, this dairy farmer, he's like, milk is white and we live in America. So this needs to stop today, Mr. Trump. Wisconsin dairy farmer alleged in a federal lawsuit filed Monday that the Trump administration is illegally denying financial assistance to white farmers by continuing programs that favor minorities. The conservative Wisconsin Institute of Law and Liberty filed the lawsuit against the U.S. Department of Agriculture on federal court in Wisconsin on behalf of a white dairy farmer, Adam Faust. Oh, of course his name is Adam Faust. That's the devil. Wow. Faust was among several farmers who successfully sued the Biden administration in 2021 for race discrimination in the USDA's Farmer Loan Forgiveness Plan. The new lawsuit alleges the government has continued to implement diversity, equity, inclusion programs that were instituted under former President Joe Biden. Now you got to ask yourself, why would Trump want to piss off the farmers? Well, I'm wondering if this has something to do with him not going after the illegals who are working for farmers. Is there a connection here? As Trump has now backed away from doing ICE raids on illegals that work at farms. Makes you wonder, doesn't it? Makes you wonder. So I'll put a link to that story. This next story is going to make you laugh. Because, of course, every day it's Trump, 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 right? It's like he can't help himself being in the news every single day. And the left continues to cover him every single day. So we can't have a day go by without Trump being talked about. And in this case, everything that Trump, this is hilarious. So, front page news, Trump's crotch. Yes, Trump's crotch is now in the news as speculation swirls about whether or not he was wearing a catheter at the UFC event, this recent UFC event. Look at this. She's like staring at it. You got to be kidding me here. Oh, she's staring at the belt, but it's like, welcome to the clown show. Well, is that Ivanka Trump back there? No, it's just like probably a lookalike or something. Welcome to Idiocracy, you guys, as Trump's crotch is now on display. Now, this is a Snopes article, and they're fact-checking because people are like, that's a catheter. Let's read this. Here's what we know about the rumor Trump wore a catheter at the UFC event. As President Donald Trump celebrated at an Ultimate Fighting Championship event in June, a photograph of him wearing a championship belt resulted in curious claims online. Photograph in question shows fighter Kayla Harrison, who had just won the UFC Women's Bantamweight Championship bout, putting her victor's belt around Trump's waist. Users focus on his pant leg and claiming he had a catheter on underneath. So look, here's what someone tweeted out. Trump is absolutely wearing a Foley catheter. It's a tube inserted into the bladder to drain urine into a bag strapped to the leg. That line down his pants, not a crease, it's tubing. Every step he takes sounds like sloshing of warm Capri Sun. That is disgusting. You guys, what happened to our country? We look closely at the footage of the 78-year-old president walking around at the event, as well as photographs of him alongside Harrison. At this time, we were unable to independently confirm whether he wore a catheter under his suit. Now, wasn't there a scene in Idiocracy about like they all had to pee all the time or something? Am I remembering this correctly? Like he's like, I gotta take a piss or something like that. I can't remember exactly what was said, but like I remember the toilet thing because basically in the future in the movie Idiocracy, they sit on toilets as their chair to do everything from. So their chair has a toilet built in, so they don't even have to get up and go to the bathroom. But this would fall right in line with Idiocracy, right? White House spokesperson Stephen Chang denied the claim in an email. The president has been the most transparent president in history, and a recent medical report that was released clearly and unequivocally shows he is in peak condition. These conspiracy theories peddled by demented individuals hiding behind social media and now being given a platform by fake news clearly suffer from a debilitating case of Trump derangement syndrome. These are the same people who have been caught trying to gaslight the American people for years by saying Joe Biden was cognitively fine when in fact he was in much worse condition. So notice how now all conspiracy theorists fall under the left. See how this works? On June 7th, Trump attended the UFC 316 event in New Jersey. The above photograph appears to have been authentic, given that the White House posted other pictures of Harrison putting the championship belt on Trump, though his pants are not visible. Now, these people are so sick, he would literally put a catheter on just to gaslight people, even if he didn't need it, right? Because this is what they do. This is what they do. Even if he didn't even need one, I could see them doing something like this because they knew all eyes were going to be on the belt and that they would be looking at his midsection. And all of this is to destabilize truth, right? Because these people all jump on the bandwagon. They go, look, he's wearing a catheter. And then those videos go viral. Notice how stuff on our channel never goes viral. But then if you say that Trump's wearing a catheter, oh, that's got millions of views. See what's happening here? They don't let the real truth go viral. They just let the fake stuff go viral. I don't think Trump's wearing a catheter. That's ridiculous. Now, do I think he could be gaslighting people into thinking he's wearing one? Absolutely. So look at this. And then they said, I'm sorry, you guys. This just makes me laugh. Then they zoom in on his pants here. It's the Battle of the Bulge. I just can't do this, you guys, anymore. This is unreal. So Trump's crotch is now front page news. Somebody wake me up from this nightmare. Idiocracy is happening right now. That was about all I had for you guys. I almost didn't do a show today. I was just burnt out, to be honest with you. Just tired of it, But I know that we all look forward to getting together. And so, that's what we do. And so I'll always try to have something for you guys. But Trump's post to the No Kings. Trump's trouser snake. Here come the jokes. The woman next to him was like the UFC champion lady or something. Crotchgate. Oh, you guys are hilarious. Axel Blue says, "Watch deterrence." Yeah. He's got a snake member, which matches up with his persona, right? Okay, what else is going on? Yeah, everybody hit the like button, please. Chief Center says, if I wasn't so traumatized, I would laugh. Literally, the president of the United States crotch on the front page news and phones for the people with his giant logo on the back of it. Like, seriously, people need to wake up. This is insane. uh, Jake the Snake. Yeah, remember that wrestler, Jake the Snake? The golden snake. And the whole world's looking at it, right? Wow. Okay, what else? What else you guys want to talk about today? Is there anything you guys want to cover? There's a lot going on. I know that, the whole, Israel Iran thing. I mean, to me, the whole thing is stupid. Now they're talking about, begging the United States to finally root out this weapon, this nuclear weapons threat, which is deep underground in the Tora Bora mountains of Iran. It's like it's the same playbook every time. It's a deep base that we cannot get to, which is why we can't find Osama bin Laden. He's in the Tora Bora mountains. And then they made up this whole story about, oh, he was just hiding out in Pakistan, in a bunker in plain sight, which was all hogwash. I watched the movie called, what was it called? Zero Dark 30. And I just laughed through the whole thing. A rogue CIA agent that never gave up on hunting for Osama bin Laden, and against all of the advice of her peers and her bosses, even when she was laughed at, even when the administration gave up on finding him. She single-handedly developed a pattern in which she found that Osama bin Laden was hiding in plain sight in a bunker in the middle of Pakistan. I mean, the whole thing was just stupid. Then they found him, but then, no, you don't get to see him because they dropped his ashes into the ocean. So sorry. I mean, I was like, are you kidding me? You guys remember that era when they claimed to have found bin Laden, right? So that movie was just ridiculous. It was dumb. And I was like, how do people buy this nonsense? But people do. We finally got him. So call me a cynic, but it is what it is, you guys. We live in clown world. And I don't think 99% of the stuff I don't even think's real. But we gotta like look at it and figure out what they're trying to brainwash the other people to believe. That's the whole point of our shows that we do, you guys. It's the whole point of it is to figure out what they're brainwashing other people to believe, to continue the lies going round and round. So, did you guys see that movie, Zero Dark 30? uh, Gold member. Okay, so in all seriousness, someone brought up a really good point about the name of our channel. They're like, Casey, the reason why you're not reaching people is because the name of your channel. Well, if anyone tuned in, they would understand that I fully explain what the name of the channel is and why I named it that. I've said that testimony many, many times. It has nothing to do with astrology or anything other than the passage in the book of Enoch. And I went to the links of actually putting that in the about section on my channel, which nobody looks at anymore, but it's there in the about section of the channel. And it clearly states the verse in the book of Enoch that talks about the righteous and the angels and the stars in the sky. The righteous and the angels. That would be we are the righteous and then the angels. And it says that the stars shine as brilliantly as the righteous and the angels. It literally says that we have a star that kind of represents us in heaven. So I don't know how that's bad, but we live in an era now where Christianity is only seen through one lens. Like people can't even think outside of the box unless they hear it from their pastor. I've condemned astrology many times on this channel. I've condemned it, but I don't know. People hear what they want to hear. So if that's why people are staying away, I don't know what to tell you. I do the best that I can, you guys. I've thought about changing the name of the channel, but you can only do so much. People want to sit in their right left paradigm, and that's the real reason why people don't come here is because they want their heroes. They want their Trump or they want their Biden or they want whatever they want, or they want their paradigm church that they go to that's not warning them about injecting things into their body, that's not warning them about idolatry of kings. So it is what it is. All right. Yeah, if I change the name of the channel, there'd be even less people showing up. Be like, who's this guy? I don't know how Call for an Uprising does it. Like, he changed his channel name many times, but people keep finding him. He's really good at getting people to show back up and find him and search him out. So that's good. Good on him, you know. But I remember when they came out with those YouTube, like you could do like a tag for your channel or whatever, and I put if you only knew. Oh, that was a problem too. Who is this? If you only knew what? Well, if you only knew the truth about our reality was the point of it. But again, people will read into things what they want to. So, yep, the enemy continues to lure people right back into the pig pen. Absolutely 100% correct. All right. Yes, we'll see the signs in the sun, the moon, and the stars. Study, but do not worship. Yes, do not live your life by the stars. Do not do that. You live your life by Jesus Christ, God, the examples in the Bible, and inspiration by the Holy Spirit. That's how we're supposed to lead our life. Do not look up astrological signs and symbols and pick your mate, pick when you're going to go grocery shopping. There are people that literally do this. Oh, our star signs don't align. If anything, I'm one of the more outwardly spoken truthers that condemn astrology. A lot of truthers won't condemn it. They won't because they don't want to lose subscribers, right? But we actually do. So, what else is going on, you guys? Trump's bulge is dying on that hill. says cannons. It's pretty funny, cannons. You guys are funny. I mean, he would do something like that, right? Hey, everybody, look at my crotch. Oh, man. I mean, if you're willing to put your name initial on the back of a phone and call it a freedom phone, even though it's full of Chinese parts, then I could see him, putting his crotch on display to the world. I mean, it's about the same thing, right? Okay, so Here's what we're supposed to do. If you should be writing Jesus Christ on everything because that's all that matters, right? It's not about the person. It's not about us and our image and our brand. It's about Jesus Christ. You want to exalt something, exalt the Son of God who died for our sins. That's what we're supposed to be doing, not bragging on ourselves. I don't get it. I don't get how people don't see this. It doesn't make any sense to me at all. Like, I don't recognize this world anymore, you guys. All right. Yeah, because that's what I want to do. I want to go buy a $499 Trump phone that's gold. And then when my car breaks down, I want to call a number and talk to a robot, an AI robot, right? I'm having chest pain. Well, please describe the nature of your pain. I think it's in my right shoulder. Well, if you're experiencing those kinds of things, please hang up this call 911. If you're unsure of what 911 is, it's the cost of this phone per month, $45.47. Right? Wow. Sir, please answer the following question. Are you sure you didn't eat too much beans for lunch? If you've eaten too many beans, please call ICE and we'll handle that problem for you. Right? Please hang up this phone call and call the ICE officers. We'll go raid the restaurant from which you purchased the beans. Would you like to report an illegal? I mean, imagine what happens when you call these numbers. It's supposed to be a freedom phone, right? I'm sure it's got all kinds of programming on it to continue the right left divide. When you have to call it, it'll read your mind. You know, I want to do a show soon on that because a couple of you I've talked to have told me, and this has happened to me personally, where you're thinking about something and you haven't spoken it. You're just thinking about it, like it crossed your mind. And then all of a sudden it shows up in your feed. And I know some of you have some theories on as to why this happens, that they can actually access our minds now on some level. You guys, you don't even have to speak it. You don't have to be doing it. It's almost like it knows. But then in some of these discussions that I was having with some of you, you were saying that maybe what it is not that at all. That maybe what it is some of us are developing precognitive ability. We're able to see things before they happen. So I don't know what the answer is, you guys, but it's really spooky. Has this happened to any of you? Let's do a poll for those of you that hung around. Okay. Start a poll. Have you ever been thinking something and then it shows up in your feed? Now, this happens to me daily, but I spend a lot of time on the internet researching and I've gotten so used to it. It's just, it's just like whatever, right? And obviously, for those paying attention that follow the channel, you know that this is a weekly occurrence where we're talking about something that then happens the following week. And there's no way that we could have known any of this, right? Now, I always give the credit to the Holy Spirit for dropping hints, I guess you could call it, helping us stay ahead of the curve so that we're not tricked by all this stuff, right? So that spiritually we stay centered. We don't jump on bandwagons or movements. A prime example of this was the whole illegal thing, right? You can't imagine how difficult it was even for seasoned truthers to see the con with the illegals. I talked to a lot of you who are like, yeah, get rid of the illegals. And I'm like, okay, yeah, we should handle this problem. But you guys, you're getting a little bit too excited about this. They're everywhere, and people were buying up the propaganda on this. Where do you think those criminal cartels came from? Well, Biden let them all out of prison. I don't know if you guys saw that memo, but apparently Biden told the El Salvadorian president or whoever, wherever these people were, to let them all out and to come to America. And you don't think that Trump knew that? Like, let's get the truth about all this, right? Cause and effect, problem, reaction, solution. These things were a setup. Then these people come over here, and yeah, Trump went and rooted them out, which needed to happen. But you got to take the emotion out of all this and figure out that it wasn't just the left that allowed these illegals to come over. This has been going on for decades, you guys, decades. And our corporations and our businesses used these people for decades to get more rich, because they're greedy. They're like, oh, why hire a person at this rate when I can hire this person that works twice as hard, but they're illegal and I can pay them less? So there's plenty of blame to go around. And this is why Trump won't go after the employers, because he knows that it would show their hand. This is why Trump won't fine and cite employers. Look, if you're going to do a raid on a restaurant who's hiring illegals and deport a bunch of people, why aren't you fining and ticketing the employers who hired them? That makes absolutely no sense to me. Isn't it illegal to hire someone? Aren't there work laws that say that you're not allowed to hire illegal people? Why isn't that in the news? Why aren't they talking about employers going to jail for hiring these people? It's because it would show their hand. It would show that they've been getting away with it. They've made all their money, right? And not only that, those are jobs that Americans could have had. And I don't care what people say. Oh, there are certain people that won't do the job. Well, then pay a fair wage. Okay, this comes back to the employers, you guys, but then it also goes to the top, because a lot of these employers felt like they had to do this to stay ahead of the curve based on our current economic laws. So they're like, we had to stay afloat. So that's a problem with the way our system works, right? They felt like they had to hire these people to be profitable. So, to me, there's a huge puzzle piece that's not being talked about. The employers who hire all these people, give them jobs. So, all the way to the Labor Department. Exactly. Guy with the GoPro fishing show. All right. I think we've had enough fun today. I hope you guys share this video. I just, we're all just trying to figure this out, you guys. There are no solid answers. We're just having a discussion here. And so that's why we come on here every day, because we can talk about this insane world and try to make it sane by just talking about it. And this way we understand how we're being manipulated. So, all right, you guys, I'm going to pop off here. I love you guys, and I'll likely see you tomorrow. I'll put links to all this in the pinned comment. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. Much love.